everybody. It's Friday. I'm acting awkward because I have a new camera today. And I knew this was going to be an issue because my screen is over here and my camera is over here and I need to be looking here. But how many times do you think that I'm going to be looking here? But that's how it is. That's life with Carolyn. So, hey, welcome. It's Friday. Have I told y'all that Friday is my favorite day of the week? It always has been. And I think it comes from when I was younger because I always worked Monday through Friday. School classes were always Monday through Friday. And then you had the weekend, even though for years I worked on the weekends as a server through college. And then now as an adult, I work on the weekends a lot of times. But there's something about Fridays, that it's that mindset. We were talking about the holidays last week, and this is Fridays for me. It's that same thing. It's a mindset, like the weekend's coming, especially this time of year. All those festivals and the air's turning cooler. The air's not cooler here today, which is why I decided to wear my head atop because we've had some warmer days for sure. But as one meteorologist that I follow said, be thankful for the warmer weather because apparently that was what kept this most recent hurricane away. So I'm just like, what? Well, okay, whatever it takes. Something to do with wind shear. I don't know. The lows, the highs, the systems that are coming through. I don't know. I'm just glad that we're almost at the end of hurricane season. Actually, I think, are we officially at the end of hurricane season? I don't remember. I want to say it's the beginning of November. So are we, please? That would be good. Anyway, I want to look at my screen because I want to see y'all's comments. I see Bo is kindly making his helpful comments. Hey, Sharon. And Liz, I know is on here. Hey, Karen. I was going to say, Liz, I am so proud of you for your brioche. I didn't know you were a newbie. I thought you had done brioche before. I'm so proud of you. I started brioche on a project a couple years ago and kind of had the swing of things, but then dropped the project and never did pick it back up. And so now I'll have to restart. You're making me think, ooh, brioche, I need to do that. So that is awesome. I love it so much. Let's see. Oh, Dion is here. Hello, Dion and Laura. Oh, the end of November. Oh, I just don't know if I can. That's right, because we have had some like right before. I remember the year Connor was born. I think we had one right before Thanksgiving. And it was like, it's Thanksgiving. Come on. Yeah, so you're right. It is. Okay. Yay, Tish is here. Teresa, I love it. Mary is here. I'm not going to say hi to everybody because I'm going to miss you, but I see Teresita and Cindy. Deborah Sue is on here. Carol. Hey, Carol. And when I was going through the comments to pick the winner of the giveaway, I was looking at the names of the swans, a bevy of swans. I think, is that what somebody said is the actual title of a group of swans? I think that's cool. Well, you all are definitely wonderful, lovely swans. I will say that. And Valera, did I say hi, Valera? I'm so glad y'all are here. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. I really appreciate it. We have lots to talk about, including our giveaway winner. I have the yarns right here. Should we start with that? Y'all want to talk about the winner? I know that you all love this colorway. I want to talk more about this particular colorway, Army. And this is on the fluffy sock with the gray alpaca rather than the cream. And I don't know that I need to keep distinguishing between the two. It's merely the natural color of the base fiber. There's no difference in terms of that I can tell in terms of the squishiness and the softness. So anyway, but this Army, y'all seem to really like it. So I realized I may have to put some of that in the shop. But y'all will have to help me to decide whether we like Army better or another green that I've recently come up with, because I can't decide which one. And I'm thinking that one of them might be my next sweater. So y'all will have to help decide which green we like best. But anyway, for today, right this moment, the winner, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I went through all the comments from the live video and then, of course, the one that was uploaded. There were lots of awesome comments and I've gotten lots of awesome messages, which I really appreciate. But the winner of these two skeins of Army on Fluffy Sock is dun, 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 Deb Feltz is the winner. Her comment was, I counted all the comments and then I did a random number generator, and Deb Feltz, and she is subscribed. So thank you for that, Deb. And you are the winner. So I will reach out to you and get your information so that I can send you your lovely skeins of yarn. So I'm not going to lose that because I like I said, we have to compare that with another green a little bit later on and see which one we like better. But so let's see, what all we've got a lot going on, just so you know. So tomorrow Bo and I will both be at Knitcessities in Orlando. So if you're coming, I know multiple people have reached out to say that they're coming. So yay, I'm excited. I even set some things aside to put back into the shop once the online shop is closed so that they'll be available for you all tomorrow. And then, of course, everything will go back on the website after the trunk show tomorrow. So that brings me to this important announcement. We'll be there from 11 to 5, by the way. And I'm going to close the online store today at 4 so that I can make sure I pulled all orders and so that I can pack up the yarn and and make sure that everything gets transitioned properly for the trunk show tomorrow. But then tomorrow night, I'll open the online shop again. Okay, just so you know. All right. And then other fun things coming up in 2 weeks already, I think? Yes, just before Thanksgiving, I will be at She Sells Yarn, and I'll be there that day. It will be, oh goodness, I'm going to forget their name. It's something Turtles. Come on, I knew this because I even posted it. Anyway, it's Trisha and Robin, something Turtles. Come on. I can't believe I've forgotten the name. Anyway, they make awesome project bags. So they will be there that day. And Swan City Yarns will also be there that day at She Sells Yarn. And so that's the week before Thanksgiving. And then Saturday, December 14th, I'll be back there with a trunk show. And the best part is that we'll be doing a holiday sock blank dye experience. So these are, and I should have brought one. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't because I don't think about these things until afterwards. But a sock blank is basically just a piece of knitted fabric. These are double knit sock blanks. So if you think about a skein of my trusty sock, 463 yards of 75% merino, superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's basically cut in half and knit together so that when you dye it, you basically have 2 half skeins of yarn that are identical. So there's lots of things you can do with that. The most obvious is, of course, socks, but you can make mittens. You can make smaller matching hats if you wanted to. You could knit them together and use it as a DK weight yarn. So it doesn't require any experience if you're thinking, oh, I've never dyed anything. It's basically you show up. I have the sock blanks ready to go and you play with color. And I always tell people with these types of things, it's best to come in with just an idea of let's see what happens. Let's have fun and play with color. So, but yeah, so there's only 2 spots left. We do have limited spots on that. So, that's on my website, by the way. So, and I'll put up, a post about it as well. I haven't advertised it really yet. I wanted to give Helen's people a chance to sign up first. So, but yeah, I'll get a post up about that, and assuming all the spots don't fill up in the meantime. Fiber Turtles, thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Dion. They make awesome project bags, and they'll be there in 2 weeks. So Yay, Teresita. I can't wait to see you either. That's awesome. Okay. So that is in the upcoming weeks in terms of events. All right. So what else do we have going on? Ooh, Nani Swimo. So I think a lot of you are in the Swan City Stitchers. If you're not, then I'd love to have you join. We're basically, obviously, you post whatever projects you want. Every month, I'm going to have a fiber challenge. This month, it's to craft some sort of sweater. You can knit it, you can crochet it, you can felt it, whatever. You can make ornaments. That would be cool. I'd love to see some sweater ornaments. But anyway, so yeah, that's going on. And I have the prize is sitting over there. I did a post just recent. I put a picture in the newsletter of the 3 skeins of yarn that you can win in that. I'll show you all my progress. I feel a little bit bad because, so I'm doing the Wednesday sweater. This is by Petite Knit. There's not a lot to look at. It doesn't look like much, does it? But basically what you have is, this is the back here, right? Yes, this is the top. This was where this was where I cast on. So that is the top back. So it'll basically fit back here. And then we have, this was my left shoulder. So it'll come over my left shoulder. And I'm now working on my right shoulder here. And it's an interesting construction, I have to say. At first, I'll tell you, I was like, I don't know about this. The very first time, I had cast on, and she has you doing short rows, and then she has you put those stitches on hold, which ended up not being a big deal. I just took my needles off the cable, put my end stoppers on, and then I watched her video on how to pick up stitches for the left shoulder. And then once I was done with that, again, so this is where it's helpful to have your cables and needle sets organized, let me tell you, because again, I just took that little cable, took the needles off of it, stuck some end stoppers on, ta-da! And now I posted a picture yesterday. I am almost done with my right shoulder, so close. And then I believe after that, she has you working on the front. So let me see. Yeah, so I'll go back and forth here. It's my understanding. And then after that, you join in the round. And at first I was like, I don't know about this, but it actually has been super simple with her instructions. And then with watching the videos that are on her website. Yeah, I think I'm okay. I'm okay with how it's going. And I haven't found myself too inconvenienced. You know how it is when you're sitting on the couch and you're knitting, and then suddenly you get to a point in the pattern, you're like, what do you mean I got to go get something? I got to go get, something to continue my project. I don't want to get up from the couch. I want to keep knitting. So once you get past that, then it's super simple. And like I said, she makes it easy. I do have a lot of ends. Oh my goodness. That's kind of driving me bonkers. I think, sometimes I wait a little bit to weave in my ends just to make sure that it's not going to get in the way or something. But I find it's more getting in the way as I'm knitting. So the ends are. So I'm going to go ahead and get those woven in. So the part that I feel bad about is that several of you have commented and said, that's such a great colorway. And is it going to be in the shop soon? So I feel bad about that. And it feels like it's not a very smart marketing choice to be knitting with one color that's not even available for sale. So, but my plan is, just to let you all know, I think I talked about this last week, I'm going to be doing, my goal is to do collections and then promote those collections and have some samples knit and things like that to show at trunk shows and fiber festivals going forward. So my plan is to do a winter collection that will be coming out sometime in December. And it will include this colorway, which is Purple Leaf Plum. And it's one of those interesting colorways. It's a purple. It's definitely a purple, but there are so many different shades in there. I mean, if you look at it up close, I see lilac, and these pale pinks in there. I see some grays in there. I mean, it's wow. And then on lace weight with that halo, I showed y'all have seen a picture of this. It's purple, but there is there's a green overtone to parts of it. Now that doesn't show up in my knit project. Interestingly enough, it does not make the project look green at all. It's just so cool to look at it in the cake because it's awesome. So yes, I know. See, Carol, I know we think alike, don't we? For sure. Yes. Oh, and you're fine. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Hey, Luann, I'm glad you're here. I know it's easy to do in the middle of the day, isn't it? All right. So what size did I end up making? That's a good question, Kim. I ended up, the second size. I went with size 2 because my stitch count when I did the gauge swatch, I think I have my gauge swatch in here. My gauge swatch that I did, and I did the technique where you kind of emulate being in the round, you knit across the row and then you draw the yarn across the back and pull your stitches to the other end of the needle so that you have the same tension, because otherwise you end up with some of that kind of rowing out if you're knitting and then purling and knitting and purling. And a lot of people feel like, well, that's not the same gauge necessarily as if you're knitting in the round. And I agree. I think I can tell a difference in my gauge here knitting flat on this part of the sweater so far. Not too bad. I've tried to be conscious of it and tighten the tension when I'm purling, because that's when I tend to be looser. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, when I did my gauge swatch, I found that I was spot on. I got exactly 15 stitches in 4 inches. And so I was thinking if I got less than that, and meaning that my sweater would be bigger, that I might go down a size, to kind of make up for it. But I didn't. Since my gauge swatch was right on the money as far as my stitches were concerned going across, I thought I'm going to go with the second size, and fingers crossed that it comes out fitting the way I want. So we'll see. And I don't know if I'm going to do any side decreases. That's something that I probably will. So far, every time I've done a few side decreases, it just looks better. Bo doesn't give me a hard time about wearing blocky shirts. You look like you're just wearing a block. So I definitely am happier with my knits when I do some side decreases. And I haven't looked at the pattern. I'm guessing based on her other patterns that I've done, I don't know that she has side shaping in the pattern. That might be something I should have looked at, but you all know me. I have a tendency to just kind of dive into a pattern without really looking, and what comes, because I don't mind a challenge. If I can find a video and something to tell me what's going on, then I don't worry about it. So, I see some half twisted rib coming up at some point. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I don't see any side shaping going on. So I have to add my own. And typically with side shaping, I just kind of, I guess, with this being it's a heavier gauge. So I probably won't do many. I'll probably do like 2 or 3 sets, and that's it for the side decreases. So we'll see. I do have plans for another sweater coming up very soon. And I didn't bring the pattern. I'll have to tell you all about it. It's one of the patterns that Nancy was kind enough to show us for patterns that would work for this scrumptious goodiness, the fluffy DK, which, by the way, I know this is getting a little ahead of myself, but I will say I dyed up a fair amount of skeins of this and y'all snapped it up. So those of you who got it, nice job. But I will be dyeing. I have more of this in stock now. It came in the middle of this last week, so I only had a chance to dye up some. But I will be getting more of this dyed up. And one of the patterns that Nancy listed in there was a pattern that I had my eye on, the broom, I think it's pronounced. by Renee Knits, Andrea Mowry. And I think I'm going to do a short sleeve version of it in this yarn. And I was trying to decide, do I want it in Swan Song? But I don't think I do. I think I want it in one of the greens that we talked about. So maybe we should get to that green now. Oh yeah, yes, Mountbatten. You're right, it does. That was a good colorway. I'll have to go look at what dye powder I used for Mountbatten, and because I know this wasn't it. Because this actually, just so y'all know, this dye powder on the jar, the dye powder, it's actually listed as a brown. This colorway, and it's one dye powder. I don't mix it. I don't mix dye powders. It is one dye, and it's actually considered a brown. But I'm guessing that it's because of the citric acid and all of that. I don't know. It's the magic of the heat and the chemicals and the makeup of my water. I would be interested to see what another dyer would come up with. I'll have to ask maybe another dyer to dye some up at some point and see if we come up with the same colorway. It's just so cool to me. Anyway, so I want to knit it in Fluffy DK, the broom sweater, but I want it in one of the greens. So here's the Army. All right, so this is the Army on Fluffy DK. Y'all see it. I called it Army because it's a deep, dark Army green. I mean, that's just how else to say it, right? Now, another colorway that I've recently dyed, and I think there's one skein of it left on Trusty Sock in the shop, and it's called Did I say what it was called? Gemini. Sorry, I've got too many places to look, too many things going on in this poor little brain that I can't handle it. And I'm trying to get my cuff on right. It's all about presentation. So this is Gemini, which is, to me, looks like an emerald, just a bright but deep emerald green. Okay, now here it is next to Army. There is a difference. I mean, it's, it's a distinct difference. And I think both of them would look equally good on me. I think I'm a winter is my color category, however, classification, whatever. I'm definitely not a spring or autumn. Warm colors, no, sorry, I wish. But I definitely look better in cool colors. And I think both of these would look good. I'm kind of leaning toward Gemini. What do y'all think? Which is your favorite green? Because I was writing down some colorways to dye up on this Fluffy DK base, right? And now don't get me wrong, and I love speckled. Swan Song looks great on it. Look at all, I mean, those are all, it's speckling, dry powder that's put down, and it just really diffuses and gets a soft look. I love that. But I do want to do some solids on the Fluffy DK. So, and I got to pick, I feel like I should pick one green. So y'all have to vote. I know they're both beautiful. How do you know? Does Gemini have a blue undertone? That's a good question. I would say yes. I would say yes that it does, Jana. Was that you, Jana? Yes. Okay, so Jana's thinking maybe Army. Army would go with I think the Army. Ooh, okay. Carol says Army. Liz likes Gemini. Thank you, Liz. I'm just kidding. If you like Army, I want to know. Laura likes Gemini. Yep. Oh yeah, I know you like it, Laura. And then, okay, Teresita. Okay, I like it. Yes. Oh, we're kind of equally split. Okay. I don't know. It's going to be hard. I might have to toss a dice or a die. Sorry. Dice would be 2. Roll a die. Yeah. I'm kind of going with Gemini, to be honest, but Army might win. So anyway, whichever one I dye up on that base, I'll definitely put the other one in the shop on other bases as well, for sure. because they're both beautiful. I mean, just can't go wrong, really. Come on. Okay, so that's that dilemma. So let's see, what else do we? So are y'all you doing okay on your sweaters, right? I've seen you posting. Shout out! I have to say, the person, at least according to the posts in the group, the person who is like on it is Karen, and I hope I'm saying your last name right, Sobel. I mean, my goodness, she's like practically done with her Wednesday sweater. It was like one day she was about to join in the round, and the next day I'm looking, I'm like, holy cow, she just has the sleeves left. So nicely done. That is awesome. But it does go fast. I mean, literally, I worked on this right shoulder just like, I don't know, an hour last night and practically done. So with the shoulder, not the sweater, obviously. So, okay, listen, a couple of other things, a couple of other shout outs, as a matter of fact. I hope y'all are okay with me shouting these out. Shout out to Nancy Estenez, by the way. I officially titled her our resident Ravelier. I asked Chat GPT, by the way, if that's a word, and it said no, but it gave me kudos for it being a good word. So I don't know if anybody else has ever come up with that word, but I officially have made a new word. If not, Ravelier, that is a new word. So let's see. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, you're all right about the greens. Oh, you're not a green fan, Karen? Okay. I had a professor in college who would say that green was like his least favorite color just because it's everywhere. Like outside, everything is green. And I was like, yeah, but that's the point. It's beautiful. I try to love all colors equally. I know that obviously I probably don't show love to all colors equally. I just try to appreciate all colors equally. And just because a color doesn't look good on me doesn't mean it's not going to look good on someone else. So obviously, I try to give them all equal share. It probably doesn't seem that. Because obviously not all, you don't see a ton of yellows in the shop, but that's because yellow is just not a color that most people buy. Y'all love your purples and pinks and blues. I mean, I'm right there with you. It's just, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent that I don't need to go down. Also, so another shout out to Carol. I assume she commented on the post, so I'm assuming that Carol Burdett is okay with me giving a shout out to her, that she was the first official customer of Swan City Yarn. So thank you. I appreciate that, Carol. And then Lonnie also gets a shout out because I believe she was the first person to tag a yarn, Swan City Yarn, on Ravelry. So she connected her. Lonnie's so good about doing stash on Ravelry anyway. And so, which, by the way, I did an announcement, or I did a post. Bases are all on Ravelry. So if you put in a project or your stash, you should be able to find your Swan City Yarns bases on there for sure. And then let's see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm just reading y'all's comments. Oh, that's awesome. First by 6, was it 6 minutes? I did not know that. Okay. Well, it was a close call then. I didn't realize that. I'll just tell y'all, Laura Blair was my second customer. So, which is awesome. Laura, by the way, and Lonnie are going to be doing some sample knitting for me in the very near future. So I'm excited about that. Okay, well, let's see. Were there any other shout outs? I think that was it. Couple of, speaking of the bases, I wanted to mention, I do have a free download on the website. I tried to find if there was a way, like, can you just post something for people to just click on it and download? But no. You basically have to put the item in your cart, and then it's free, obviously, and then it emails you a link. It feels a little bit cumbersome, but I guess it's a good way for people to get on your website too. I don't know. Anyway, so if you want to know more about the bases, there is a drop down menu and there's a page that you can look at and just read it on your computer screen or your phone screen. Or there is a product about the yarn bases, and you can actually get a download if you want to print it out. So you can do that as well. Another big announcement, thank you to Bo. Again, where would I be without Bo? Is that we do have shipping to Canada now. So that is good news. And then I told Bo by the beginning of the year, I need to have shipping to the UK. So that's on his list. And it's basically whenever he feels like getting on with the Shopify help people, because there always seems to be multiple glitches and things like that to work out. So, but we're getting there. And he's amazing help with all of that. So, all right. Yes, Carol, definitely, that's something that I want to do, is have more, for y'all to be able to see more about how things knit up, for sure. So, all right, let's see what else. Okay, so shop update. Let's go. Oh, before I do that, I wanted to show y'all, I put these in the newsletter, but I wanted to show you anyway. So this November is not just Nani Swimo month. It is also National Native American Heritage Month. Say that 3 times fast. I can't. But I thought it would be cool to highlight a couple of Native American designers. And both of these ladies I have heard of before and seen some of their designs. The first one is Jennifer Berg, and I just printed out. This is one of her patterns that I love and have in my queue, by the way. It's the Dazzler sweater. So Jennifer Berg is known for putting in her patterns a lot of Navajo symbols and things like that represent her culture. And so it's a lot of color work and things like that, but she has some cool sweaters. This, like I said, is in my queue. So if you're looking for some patterns, I thought it might be fun to check these ladies out. The next one is Jessie Maed, and I think I'm saying that right. Jessie Maed Designs. Y'all know her. A lot of her patterns you've seen. This particular one is called the Cozy Classic Light. I chose this one because it's the most, and I don't say this in a derogatory way at all. It's the most, I say it because of the audience. It's the most subdued of her patterns. She has amazing patterns. She's very much into body positivity, size inclusivity, and all of that. And so she's got great patterns, and her audience members obviously love that. In fact, I think one of these, this second one that you can't even see the sample, was a crop top that someone did. So she does a lot of really interesting designs, but I especially liked this one. Like I said, the Cozy Classic Light, just because it's a classic pullover sweater. Both of these designs are worsted weight. Oh, no. I take that back. I thought this one was. This is actually fingering weight, the Cozy Classic Light. Oh, because it's light. She probably has a worsted weight edition, would be my guess. And this is the light version, probably. So anyway, I put those in the newsletter because I thought if it's November, we're knitting sweaters. If you're looking, I say knitting, crocheting, whatever, but those are 2 knit designers that are Native American that I thought it would be cool to showcase and point out. So if you're looking for somebody to try, definitely give them a look and see what they have. Okay, so shop update. Let's do, oh, nice. See, that is so cool. I love that y'all have that heritage. That's awesome. Yes, Diane, you do have some yarn coming too. Okay, you hear that, Bo? It's managed markets. Yep. And that's basically what it's been, a 3-hour chat. Sometimes it's been, overnight, and then the next morning we look, do we have an email yet? From the Shopify support people. Whew, it's been good times, let me tell you, in the Edgar household. Okay, so just to let you know some things that have gone into the shop, a few more of the sparkly sock sets. This is a one of a kind colorway. It's very similar to Christmas Tree Farm, but it's a little bit lighter on the greens and the browns. And it's called Hanging Holly. And I did it with a potato peel pie mini. And then there's that Gemini mini again. So we do have some of those. By the way, I think I told you all the sparkly sock won't be back until December. However, I did look and there is a DK version and I think it is in stock. So when I next go to order yarn, I'm going to have to get us some sparkly DK. You know I have to. I mean, come on. So look for that at some point in the future. We'll definitely get those in, and not just around the holidays. We got to do. I'm doing sparkly socks from now on. I'm convinced. When I knit my next socks, they're all going to be sparkly. I just love it. And y'all, if you haven't seen, some people have posted in the Swan City Stitchers group that it really does look like the stellina is just kind of floating up on top. It's not that it's coming out. It's just that there's so much of it. It's like, when there's freshly laid snow and the sun is shining and you see those sparkles laying on top of the snow. That's what this looks like. Oh, I just love it so much. Okay. So anyway, I restocked some on both fingering and DK. So take a look in the sock sets selection. There's more of the peppermint bark sets that comes with candy shards and double Dutch. And then there's more of the gingerbread man. That is one of my favorites. Bo says it's not his favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorites. It comes with buttons and spindle prick red. And I've labeled them bundles because I don't want you to think that you have to be a sock knitter to use these. Obviously, you can, if you just want to use the one skein and then save your minis for something else, you can. But you can also use these, whether you're making hats, color work projects, obviously. So I don't want you thinking that if you're not a sock knitter that they're not for you, because they are. All right, and then here's another. Oh, love this one. Belschnickel. Couldn't get it out last week, so here it is this week. We were just watching The Office, by the way. That's where that came from, when Dwight dresses up as Der Belschnickel for the Christmas party one year. And yeah, so that's where that came from. So Belschnickel, and I paired it with sweet cherry pie, and that's purple leaf plum. I did purple leaf plum. Ooh, so you can get purple leaf plum on a mini, I suppose, right now. I had forgotten that I did that. Yeah, but I think that looks really, I really like that. Maybe one of these needs to come with me. I'm just saying. I might have to make some Belschnickel socks. All right, so what else? There are some miscellaneous minis available. And as time goes on, I'll get the inventory built up there as well. Fluffy sock. I did we've got some colorways on that. Let me grab these. Christmas Tree Farm. Oops. Christmas Tree Farm there. And again, because it's alpaca, the speckles really diffuse. And so you just end up with this really nice tonal green in there. And then this has been a favorite in times gone by. And that is Blackberry Wine. Now, Blackberry Wine, this one is done on the gray base. I can't wait to dye up Blackberry Wine and do it on the natural cream base. I have a feel it'll be just a little bit lighter and brighter. But here with this, you still get all the purples and the bright pinks. And there's a dark purple in there as well. There's some gray that comes through when you're knitting it. I don't think the product listing has the knitted swatch available on there. Morgan had made a top out of Blackberry Wine. And yeah, it's beautiful. All the different tones that come through when it's knit up for sure. And then this is a Dahlia on the fluffy sock. This is also on the gray base as well. So this has different shades of light and dark blue, and then also some gray is in there as well. So yeah, so I'll be bringing all of those tomorrow with me to Knitcessities as well. Let's see, what else? Could it possibly be that I have discussed everything? Let me tell you what's coming up. Let me just look over my list here. Yeah. So let's see what is sold out. Yes. So candy cane or the peppermint bark is on DK. Is that? I hope that's not shouldn't be sold out. I don't unless somebody placed an order. But I had a fair number of skeins. So let me know which one you're talking about, Cindy. Belschnickel, is that what you? Okay, so Belschnickel might be sold out because like I said, I did set aside a few things to make sure to take with me tomorrow. So I'll get some more Belschnickel dyed up if it gets sold out. Anything that, like I said, that doesn't sell tomorrow will be put back in the shop tomorrow night. And then I'll post an announcement that the shop is back open online. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to, wave the goods in front of your face and then it be sold out. I'm sorry. All right. So coming up, what I wanted to let y'all know a couple of things. Linda, I think, asked about the soap sack kits. So we've done soap kits in various ways in the past. So this time around, I'm going to do soap sack kits where you get 3 soaps and then you also get the yarn to knit a soap sack around it that felts. I have a pattern that I wrote before, and then you get the pattern, you get the soap, and you get the yarn in it already caked up and ready to go. So that should be coming out next week. So just to let you know. And then also, just to let you know, there will be a handful of skeins of my test drive with self-striping. I think I told you all about that last week. And so I've dyed it up and I've determined, because I timed myself, it's not, so here's what's interesting about self-striping yarn. Some dyers I know make their own skeins. I do not. I don't have the equipment for that. And when I looked at the cost comparison of buying yarn on cones versus in a skein, it was minimal. And so to me, it was just worth it to always just buy my skeins. But here's the thing, normal skeins like, this, if I were to untwist this, we all know it when you get your yarn and you get it home and you untwist it and then you thwack it, you put it on your Swift. And a normal skein is like, I think 60 to 70 inches in circumference, something like that. Well, the skeins that I get for self-striping are like massive. I mean, they're like, I don't know, 6 feet in circumference. I'm guessing that would be about how many times I walked around. So what you have to do is you have to find a way to get them stretched out, and you have to divide the skein into a certain number of equal sections. So a lot of self-striping yarns that I've seen come in 4 or 5 sections. So I got a set of 5 skeins and I measured it out and I stretched them out across the room. There were, 2 chairs, and I put them on almost like a giant Swift that doesn't move, basically. Think about it that way. And so I got them all together and I tied off 5 equal sections. And then I took them out in the dye studio. I pre-soaked them in citric acid solution, just like I always do. And then it was interesting. You have to dye each section a different color. So I left one section bare yarn because it went with the colorway that I was doing. I'm not going to tell you all what it is. You'll have to wait and see. And then I did 3 solid colors. And then there was one section that I basically speckled. So it's like a variegated section. And all of that wasn't a big deal at all. So once that was done, I rinsed it, put it in the whirligig. That's what Connor has named our spin dryer, is the whirligig. So I stuck it in the whirligig, laid it up on the dry racks, let it dry. And then here's where it gets interesting. Once it's dry, you have to find a way to either cake it or reskein it. And from what I've seen, a lot of dyers who do self-striping have these large drums that they use. And I don't have room. I was telling Bo about the process because he saw the end result. It's like, that's really cool. And it is really cool. What I ended up doing, I put the skeins back on those two chairs, and then I hand wound every cake or every skein into a ball. And then once it was in a ball, I then put it on a Swift and I rewound it into a skein. And they do look really cool, I have to say. So I can't wait for y'all to see them. But what I determined is that each skein took me about an extra hour of processing time. Now, I have to decide, is it worth it to do all that? I have to say it wasn't the end of the world, because while I was doing that, I did it out in our kind of the entrance to the house. We have a big foyer and it goes into what we call the music room. And so I just walked around the chairs, winding. And I listened to my audiobook while I was doing it. And so it actually, as long as you have the time, it wasn't a horrendous experience. And they did really turn out well, except I will say one thing that I learned, and when y'all see it, I'll have to take a picture and post a picture of what it looks like knitted up. I think if I do it again, I will not do it in 5 sections. I will do it in 4 sections, just because the length of these skeins, as big as they are, they actually are not big enough almost. You need to do, let me think about, is that how that works out? I could be mathing wrong. Anyway, what I determined is that I should have only done 4 colors so that each section was actually larger. Sorry. If you do 4 sections, each section then would be larger, and that way your stripes are bigger. So I'll have to show, I'll post a picture when I list those so that you can see. I started knitting up a 64 stitch tube, and the stripes are thin. I mean, they're obviously very distinct stripes, but they're not like the large chunks of stripes that you get sometimes that are so cool. So anyway, just to let you know, that's what's coming. It was an interesting part of my week. I like doing stuff like that because I like to be challenged, and I like to see if there's something that I can figure out and a different way to do it. So it is very cool. I do like it. I thought, maybe in the upcoming months, if there's a special time of year or a special holiday or something, then I'll dye up something, some self-striping. We'll see. But anyway, so those are some things to come next week. And like I said, the other big thing, so the soap sack kits to look forward to, self-striping, and then, like I said, the fluffy DK, I've got that on the dye schedule to come up with some colorways of that. So those are some things to look forward to. All right. Yes, you're right. The peppermint bark in DK right now is only in a bundle. So yeah, I did get my steps in, Valera. That is very true. I don't count my steps, but I guarantee you I got my steps in that day. My ankles were hurting afterwards, but it was all good. So, all right, I think that's all I have. Yeah, I'll be here again next week, 1 o'clock. I think this works well for me in my day, and then it leaves the weekend free to go out and do fun things. So I'm liking that. And yes, I know. I have a new appreciation for self-striping yarn too, let me tell you. So, but obviously other dyers who do that, they have systems in place. Don't get me wrong. I think from what I've seen, videos and things, there is extra work that goes into that, because you don't just dye the yarn, put it on the dry rack and twist it. I'm thinking now, all this work that goes into it, that's nothing. Try some self-striping. So anyway, but it's been good. Like I said, I like challenges. I like new things. And so I'm always looking for something new to learn and all of that. So, all right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. I just, thank you all so much. I can't tell you, I know I said it last week, but again, I appreciate you and all of your kind words and support means so much to me and my family. Yeah. And so I also just wanted to say to all of you, if, I know for all of us at different times, we're all going through different things and challenging things. So if you're going through something challenging this week, then I just want you to know that you've got this, we've got your back. And yeah, and you can always depend on us to be thinking of you or praying for you if you need it. And so just let us know. All right. I hope you all have a great week. And again, thank you so much for joining me. Bye, everybody.